Can I just go straight away, please, to Kenny Deery, Chief Executive of the Galway Chamber of Commerce, because they're embarking indeed on dialogue with their members and indeed the businesses in Galway City and County. Kenny, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today.
Morning, Keith. How are you?
God, how things have changed since you and I last spoke on this matter. But again, you're looking at restarting industry.
Yes. We're not sure where restrictions are going to continue, Keith, but we have to begin having these conversations so that when restrictions do lift, and they will lift on a phased basis for certain businesses and certain sectors, we need to be prepared for what the implications of that are. And one of the conversations we had, Keith, was with the Department of the Taoiseach at the back end of last week. And they're working on a grander plan in terms of what supports business will need, but they want input from the chambers on a national level, because we're very much on the ground and we're hearing what businesses are saying, where the challenges and the pinch points are going to be. From the government's perspective, Keith, there's two real measures that they want every business owner and everybody listening indeed to your programme today to think about. When you reopen, there's two measures. One, can you get your team in and out safely, adhering to social distancing, in the knowledge that full buses and full trains are a thing of the past? That's just not going to be an option. And the second measure is, within the work environment, can you modify or change the work environment to make sure that it adheres to the social distancing requirements? And within that, there's one further advisory and one further question we're asking, Keith, in Chamber, is if you have a team of 4 staff, is there an A team and a B team? Because one of the things you really shouldn't have, it goes against all the guidance, is all your staff in together. Because if, heaven forbid, and we're going to have to coalesce with this virus for the next couple of months, certainly anyways, and if not longer, if, heaven forbid, one of your team exhibited symptoms, well, then that would mean that all of your team would need to go into isolation for the required period. So we're very much at pains when talking to businesses to say, right, how many staff have you and how can you do your rostering and your rotating so that potentially you've A, B and maybe even a C team, so that not everybody's impacted if it's a case that someone shows symptoms. And Keith, we're calling this the Business Recovery Forum, and there's, from what I can see, there's about 14 different sectoral conversations I need to have, and we're starting those tomorrow. We've already begun this process over the last 2 weeks, and we've been getting a huge amount of feedback. But what we want to be able to do is provide a mini report as Galway Chamber, sector by sector. These are the challenges Galway businesses are going to have in this space. These are the potential solutions we think. And today I've written to all elected officials in city and county, as well as the CEOs of the city and county council, in terms of saying we'll be sharing this information with you. Some of the solutions we can contain at a local level, but some of the solutions will need national and government intervention.
So how do you want them to engage with you?
In terms of the businesses, we have issued and begun issuing invites by sector to a range of businesses, and I think anyone who hasn't, as a result of our conversation, Keith, about 10 days ago, quite a number of business people sent me direct notes and mails saying they'd like to be included in the process, and I would encourage anyone else listening just to send an email to kenny@galwaychamber.com and raise your head and say, I'd like to be involved in these conversations. We'll facilitate, and really the role of Chambers is to try and facilitate the conversations. We're not going to have all the solutions on these calls. It's to try and capture the essence of the status quo as people are now, where they see the challenges over the next 3 months and where they see the challenges over the next 6 months, and bit by bit how we can baby step our way through those. Then the second stage, once we find out that list, shall we say, that shopping list of issues, we then engage with local authorities, and we engage. Minister Heather Humphreys was very clear on this. There are a range of supports out at the moment, but Keith, many businesses don't particularly have the appetite for taking on more debt. The government does know that there's going to have to be some sort of a stimulus, and part of our conversations will be trying to help influence what that will look like.
Okay.
So it's really important that people engage with this process and that we do it in a quick and timely manner. I'm hoping to have a lot of this wrapped up over the next week to 10 days.
We're here. We'll come back to it again. We'll talk to some of your members tomorrow on the programme, Kenny.
One thing, Keith, just to mention is the Portershed Open for Business initiative, which we gave great publicity, or you gave great publicity through your own programme. Just to mention that they are now up on 100 businesses online open for delivery collection. It's a real positive news story, and they're looking at the second phase of how that might be optimised a little more with a prepaid credit card so that people aren't slobbering with cash and that sort of thing. So just to say well done to the team in Portershed, and for anyone who's looking to see what's open, the Portershed Open for Business splash page is where I would be directing them.
All right, we'll talk again on this tomorrow morning, but thank you, Dee, for joining us.